From Broken Tambourine. Jupiter can make you gain 30 pounds. If astrology isn't real, then why did I gain 30 pounds when Jupiter transited my first house? For all the really cool geniuses who are replying you gained weight because you ate. First of all, you don't know poop about my diet. For all you know, I could have thyroid issues or something. Second of all, I've always eaten a lot. My appetite has always been the constant, never changed. The point of this tweet is that my weight was also constant until Jupiter hit my first house.
Holy poop! How did the rest of us survive when Jupiter hit the Earth?
It's a pattern I observed. Welcome to astrology. Reddit girl. When you can't take responsibility for your actions, so you blame a ball of gas 500 million miles away. Actionable stupidity. I wish I could do that. Unfortunately, the only one full of gas responsible for my problems is me.
On a serious note, if you suddenly gain 30 pounds with no explanation, please go see a doctor. You might have a tumor or other problems.
Hey everybody, and welcome back to the place where we make fun of the logic and not the people. This is probably my first video of the new year, and pause crossed, it'll be a much better one. From Wanderlust Wonders. Zero sanity in this post. Shrug. How to burn off Christmas calories. 50 minutes aggressively unfollowing people on Instagram. 2 hours gently pushing someone down the stairs.
What?
4 hours screaming nope in someone's ear.
And if any of those seemed like a good idea to you, please visit your local mental health professional.
From a person who's either named Violet Snows or Violet Snows. Holidays memories are all food related. Don't miss out on 95% of the holiday memories you could make to weigh 5% less. Heart. Replied, I don't even speak to family during holidays because I'm shoveling pie into my face the entire time I'm at a gathering. No time to speak. I'm getting all my holiday memories. Violet Snows / Violet Snows replied, now that's what I call holiday spirit. From Nana Knows. Really hitting all the nails on the head. I had to fix pretty much every sentence in the following because apparently they all failed elementary school. Being obese is unhealthy and can lead to heart disease and other health problems. So weight does have to do with health. The stress on the body from repeated weight cycles is higher than just being obese. So is pretending you care about fat people's health. You said losing weight is for health. That's fat phobia. Equating weight loss with health is fat phobia.
Wait a second, she can spell loss but not losing? The heck?
There is fat phobia in the medical field. The term obese is arbitrary and fat phobic. Inevitable Owl replied, isn't the term obese medically defined and aligned to BMI? You may not agree with the definition. And that's fine. But that seems to be the complete opposite of arbitrary. PM Garden Picks. Arbitrary equals I don't like it. The more I don't like it, the more arbitrary it is. From This Is Cringe. What studies exactly? If I ate more than 2,000 calories, I would definitely gain weight. Typically, 2,000 is said to be the daily limit, at least by the UK government, but the truth is that we need more, and everyone has different needs, just like how everyone needs a different amount of sleep. Shown by various studies.
I'm gonna need actual citations on this. Just writing the word various does not count as a citation. That wouldn't even work in high school.
From Fantastic Ambition. This is satire, right? Every day I'm plagued by the desire to understand why the Kia Soul marketing team decided to make the hamsters hot.
This is a little outside my world, and maybe yours too, but at the end I'll show a picture that shows exactly what they've done.
Honestly, fat phobia. They didn't make them hot, they made them skinny, tall, and humanoid. What started as cute CGI hamsters and clothes became a socially acceptable furry commercial. A bunch of numbers replied, I don't even care about the fat phobic comments here. I'm too concerned about them thinking the hamsters were hot. I wasn't familiar with this, so I googled it and watched a few of the commercials. I was expecting Lola Bunny vibes or something.
You might remember her from Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
But they just look like hamsters? Unless this is in reference to a video I didn't see, I'm definitely more concerned for the first person. Starraiser replied, I assume they mean this picture. I still wouldn't call them hot, but they definitely do not look like hamsters from the neck down.
The pictures of 3 hamsters wearing suits and tuxedos, standing in front of a car. They've got the bodies of action stars and they're all trying to look as cool as possible. This honestly looks like more of a joke than anything to do with fat phobia. I can imagine the advertising team. I've got a brilliant idea. Let's dress the hamsters like movie stars. Hilarious!
From Liam J.S. Eating Oreos is a very rebellious action. Diet culture says avoid sweets like Oreos because they're bad. Craves an Oreo, eats an apple instead. Thinks about Oreos all day. Craves and eats lots of Oreos at night, feels out of control, embarrassed, and like a failure. Diet culture rebel. Knows no food can make or break health. Craves Oreos, eats some, and moves on guilt-free. Dami Noodles points out the obvious. This implies that everyone can eat 2 Oreos. And stop. Some of us don't have a good grip on moderation, so it's easier to just not keep junk food in the house. 1 apple is a heck of a lot better than a whole sleeve of Oreos. From Love Dove Bunny, one of our most frequent customers here. How the Thins need to help fat people. A lament about costs. I propose that at least 5 days every month, retailers reverse their prices so that thin people have to pay more than fat people. Thins are privileged by society, so shouldn't they pay for that privilege somehow? Fat people earn less than thin people, but we are expected to pay more for everything. Post brought to you by the futile search to find an affordable, heavy-duty electric tricycle. Amazing Obligation replied, Okay, I thought it would be about clothes, but they want an affordable, heavy-duty electric tricycle? What? From Darkita, another frequent flyer. The responses are mind-boggling. I am 49 and have a Santa tummy. I drink lots of cola. I accept my size. I don't restrict. But when I did diets, I would automatically stop eating. I have an anorexic brain. My weight gain is from Coca-Cola. Anyhow, my brain set is getting better. My issue is my Santa tummy is dragging down on my back and creates a lot of pain, and I have problems walking. I need to drop about 1/4 of my Santa tummy down a chimney. This has only become a problem this year, and I am getting older. And it concerns me that I'm losing my physical abilities at a faster rate than just due to aging. All this is starting to set me back in the wrong direction. I just would like some input, please. Someone replied, One standard concept is add something instead of taking away. What about slowly adding alternatives to your intake, like flavored water?
That's some solid advice.
There's nothing wrong with your Santa belly.
Not good advice. You don't need to do much research to know that a lot of belly fat is not good for you. A little, as far as I understand, is fine, so don't worry about that.
Yes, you may feel like it's putting a strain on your back, but maybe switch your mindset to I need to work on my back pain instead of I need to fix my belly. There is a subtle difference. Someone else replied, I'm glad you recognize that your love of Coke isn't an addiction, and that restricting won't help.
It's not an addiction. It's just something that's causing physical consequences and they can't give up.
I suggest talking to an intuitive eating dietitian. You seem to think you need to lose weight, but that's also against this whole movement. In intuitive eating, that is, if your back hurts, what can you do besides weight loss to fix it? Strengthen? Rest? Kombucha Enema replied,
That sounds like a procedure I want to avoid.
I need to work on my back pain without losing my belly. It's like saying, I need to fix my car without removing the dead squirrel. I need to fix my car without removing the dead squirrel in the engine. Tommy of Norwich, have you considered finding a more squirrel-positive mechanic? Someone who will celebrate the naturally squirrel-adjacent nature of your car, while offering you compassionate reassurance that none of your car's problems are squirrel-related?
Why are squirrels so darn funny? Moving on.
From There Are Real Aliens, though. On a video about a girl waking up at 6:30 to do an ab workout and go on a run. I don't want to diagnose her with something, but having regular sleep schedule, waking up early to work out is very common among people with eating disorder. Some people with ED taking good care of themselves, like having good sleep, taking vitamins, drinking water, taking care of teeth, hair, and skin. I'm sorry to say, but her body reminds me of the old Thinspo and popular ED girls on Tumblr. The Fruit Song replied, They straight up said Taking care of yourself is signs of an eating disorder. What? The projection is unreal.
But seriously, if you're not taking care of yourself, you might be depressed. Please see a doctor.
From No Property. The delusion is strong in this one. Hi, I'm kind of confused on that Adele post. If weight is 100% determined by genetics, then how could she lose weight? Wouldn't it just not change? Also, isn't it normal for weight to change with different eating or exercise habits? Not for better or worse, just as a result. Someone replied, weight is determined by genetics. It has been scientifically proven that 95% of people who attempt to lose weight will gain it back within 3 to 5 years, and oftentimes even more weight than they lost. A person can try to lose weight, but it will never be long term. The only real way to lose weight is unintentionally if you're not within your weight set point. All intentional weight loss is futile. Weight can sometimes change with eating and exercise changes, but many times it doesn't. Fat people do sports and earn the Olympics. There are fat people who can eat as little as possible and will never lose a pound. For a lot of people, their healthy weight is in fact fat. I encourage you to look all of this up. It's some of the basics of the reality that weight does not equal health. Viniki replied, not much to be done when you find yourself in a conversation with someone like this. Just repeating the same scripted lines. You can almost picture the fuzzy dream in their head, where roly-poly Olympians jiggle about and everyone drinks soda without guilt.
To me, that one woman's response was so boilerplate that I thought she was a bot for a bit. I still kind of do.
Love Dove Bunny makes another appearance. Promoting healthier food swaps should be banned. I subscribe to an online fitness program that I love. It's not explicitly intuitive eating, HIES, but the woman who runs it is very much promoting fitness as a way to feel good rather than looking a certain way, and I feel really awesome after doing one of her workouts. But, of course, she can't just stay in her fitness lane.
Has she been listening to Alan Roberts? Because that sounds like the kind of stuff Alan Roberts says.
This woman also promotes a particular anti-inflammatory way of eating. Most of the time that part of the program is very off to the side, and I ignore it. But today she got a post up on Instagram about healthy holiday baking swaps, and suggests swapping honey for sugar and almond flour for white flour. Those swaps will produce very different results. If I did this with, for example, gingerbread cutout cookies, I would have a sticky, falling apart mess. I don't doubt that you can make delicious baked goods with honey and almond flour, but you can't just swap them out for regular sugar and white flour.
She's absolutely correct. You can't just make willy-nilly changes. One of the posts on Reddit over the last week, somebody recommended to make really good cake to just double the amount of butter. And that would have made the most ridiculous cake ever. People were making fun of that post like crazy.
Grr. I just can't see anyone who actually bakes regularly endorsing this advice. Stick to your area of expertise, please.
So far so good, but then the post goes on.
I really want to send a DM saying, hey, this feels like hidden diet culture. Please consider if it's compatible with your main message of body acceptance. From Pugs Not D, Rugs. Gosh, people on Twitter are really effing not smart. I'm gonna need you to take "obs" out of your vocabulary and change it to fat. The first one is a slur, the latter is not. Also, people can be fat for more reasons than just the food they eat. Some have health conditions and others are just simply fat. It's not a bad thing. Someone replied, coming from someone who weighed almost 300 pounds 2 years ago and is a nursing student, obese is not an offensive word whatsoever. This is reaching. It's a medical term, comparing obese to the R word.
I think they mean N-word.
Is overreaching, not the same thing whatsoever. Oh, look, a former fat who became non-fat is trying to use colonial science. Tom Ivanovich replied, starting to think they should start using apostate instead of former fats.
If you don't get that joke, it's when people leave certain cults or religions. They're called apostates, and people in that religion won't talk to them anymore. So, long story short, they're calling fat acceptance a cult.
From Fantastic Ambition. Tracking calories? Fine. Just know all these terrible consequences. Rolling eyes. If you want to track calories, that's fine. Just know the side effects. Frustration. Thinking about food for more than 75% of the day. Hanger. Obsession with food portion. Isolation due to unknown tracking at social events. Xian replied, they didn't include the most important side effect. Weight loss. Jarumble. And feeling great about yourself. From Forehead Heart. I hate my friends for sharing their weight loss story because that's literally fat phobia. Woof. It's a shame seeing Facebook friends defending fat phobia because they have it so internalized. Why shouldn't I share my weight loss journey? I worked hard for it. Fudge anyone who says it's bad, like I wanted a comment, but in reality it's just really sad. And of course I had to unfriend her, BC. I absolutely 100% cannot let that energy into my life in any way. Coffee DePool replied,
Wait a second, does his name mean chicken coffee? Anyway.
That energy, yes. Who needs the positive, accomplished energy of a dedicated and successful goal achiever when you can just unfollow and block out everyone and everything but Wendy's ads and families too nice to tell you you have a weight problem? From Jess Stevens. So, doctors telling me to lose weight is fat phobia and not science? I can't handle these people. Obesity categories are based on height and weight only. They correspond to an increased risk of heart disease and stroke, though the evidence is poor at levels just above the obesity cutoff. It is one of the many risk factors including smoking, activity level, family history, etc.
So far, sanity.
Someone replied, Don't you think it's fat phobic for a doctor to tell me I need to lose weight when I didn't ask? That isn't why I was there, and who are they to decide what weight I should be? And my BMI may be high, but I'm actually healthy, and he would know that if he was a good doctor. Kangaroo replied, What if the doctor is so good that he can not only tell that you are healthy now, he can see into the future and all the complications you're going to get from your obesity? From the Little Gym Rat. Christmas is fat phobic, guys. It makes us shameful about our bodies.
I know this video is coming out after Christmas, but just pretend it's a week ago.
Recently, I've watched a few cheesy movies with my friends, and every single one I've watched has been fat phobic. All of them. The one I just watched had Santa on a no-carb sugar diet. Santa. I just want to watch some Christmas movies without being made to feel bad about my body. OCR Amazon. Christmas movies are all about eating and drinking high-calorie treats without any guilt or shame. It's the least fat-phobic genre in cinema. The Expert. No, they're about stopping terrorists from taking over a building. From Carbohydrate King. 70% of the population is overweight or obese, but okay. Especially in a culture where many of us are actually chronically undereating, and that's the reason we are binging in the first place. Promising weight loss is assuming that everyone is inherently overeating, and also not understanding weight set range theory.
Which is an internet myth, by the way.
And the healing role of weight gain after restriction. Not Cinderella. I would believe that a number of people who are overweight actually don't eat enough. Chances are they drink their calories, though, in cocktails and beer and frappes.
And, as we saw earlier in this episode, Coca-Cola.
Anani just a name added. Fruit juice and smoothie places, too. A friend sipped some kind of kale fruit juice concoction all day for weeks, thinking it was healthy. Ended up with NAFLD from all the fructose. We have teeth for a reason. Not Cinderella. It's amazing how many people think smoothies are super low calorie. They can be. Mine are about 150 to 200, depending on what I put in it. But those fancy smoothie places usually have smoothies clocking in at around 400 to 500 calories, which people drink and eat a meal with or after, too. From Quince Jelly. It makes me upset that this person has a PhD and they are using it to give authority to these rubbish statements that dissuade people from taking control of their lives and losing weight to improve their health. We are prescribing for fat people what we diagnose as eating disorders in thin people. Book Hermit replied, Dietitian, eat 5 fruits and vegetables a day. Do something active for an hour every day. Stop drinking your calories and swap for low-calorie options. Get plenty of protein in every meal and fill half your plate with vegetables, pulses, and legumes. Eat enough calories to fuel a healthy weight body and no more. And remember to count your snacks because they still have calories. Try not to eat mindlessly out of a bag because food still has calories even when you're not sitting down for a meal. Fat Activist. You want me to starve myself and exercise purge every day and never eat donuts ever again? Dietitian. I didn't say any of that. Is that what you heard? Fat Activist. Listen, I'd rather be fat and happy and eat all the cake and frappuccinos I want than be miserable eating vegetables and running on a treadmill every day and emaciated. From Elmir 2000. Just when I think they can't get any more ignorant and bat poop crazy, I'm proven wrong. Diet is intentional weight loss. 95 to 97% of diets fail. Any means of intentionally trying to reduce your body size will probably fail. Arkin van Helsing. 95% of diets fail means you, on average, only need to try 20 times for it to work. Less if you're lucky or smart. Only Paper listens. So, you're saying I can send out 20 resumes and then give up on employment forever? Sounds legit. From r/shower thoughts, from Mayfer. Your brain is a selfish D. It encourages you to consume substances that make it feel good, but hurts other organs. Over in r/science, from Waga. Bursts of exercise can lead to significant improvement in indicators of metabolic health.
That's a complex sentence, but it gets clearer.
Approximately 12 minutes of acute cardiopulmonary exercise impacted more than 80% of circulating metabolites, including pathways linked to a wide range of favorable health outcomes. That's a very complex way of saying if you exercise intensely for 12 minutes a day, you can improve your health. And another one from Waga. Research finds age is no barrier to successful weight loss. There are more than 50 comorbidities of obesity that can be lessened as we lose weight, including diabetes, psychiatric conditions such as depression and anxiety, osteoarthritis, and other mechanical problems. Studies of patients at a hospital-based obesity service shows no difference in weight loss between those under 60 years old and those between 60 to 78 years old. So long story short, you can still lose weight when you're old. Another one from r/science, from Mavia. Cheese by far was shown to be the most protective food against age-related cognitive problems. Daily consumption of alcohol, particularly red wine, and weekly consumption of lamb, but not other red meats, was related to improvements in cognitive function, finds first-of-its-kind analysis. And by the way, when they say daily consumption, they mean one serving, not 2,000 servings. One more from r/science. Losing a few kilograms in weight almost halves people's risk of developing type 2 diabetes, according to a study. These findings are important as they show that a real-world lifestyle program really can make a difference in helping people reduce their risk of type 2 diabetes.
So just losing 4 or more pounds halves your chance of getting type 2 diabetes. So every little bit counts, guys.
Over in r/relationship advice, from Ral. I'm an obese adult living with my parents, and all three of us are at odds on how they should monitor my eating habits. What needs to happen here? I'm a 29-year-old woman currently living at my parents' house in rural America, after a series of events that pretty much have left me unable to properly take care of myself.
That's not a good sign.
My mental health was in decline. I'm 70 pounds overweight. My apartment was in squalor. I'd lost my job. I was pretty much a mess. My parents offered to let me stay with them to help me get back into mental and physical health, but under certain conditions. Among them was the rule that desserts would only be served on Saturday and Sunday at their house.
Pausing here for a second to add, that seems like a pretty good rule.
I agreed to these conditions, but sugar addiction never goes down easily, and the cravings kicked in fast. My parents may be able to monitor what I eat in their house, but they couldn't see what I was eating outside their house. These last few days, when I tell my parents I'm driving to the park, I'm partially going to buy some junk food at a gas station, bakery, or any place else that sells my favorite sweets. I mainly get single-serve portions of chocolate pastries, donuts, cupcakes, muffins, etc. Since this town has some good bakeries, eat it in my car and throw away the evidence in a local trash can. I'd been using cash since my mom has joint access to my bank account, and she'd be able to see my debit card activity. Well, this afternoon, I don't know how, but my dad caught on that I was buying sweets with my spending money, and confronted me about it. He reminded me of the rules they set forth and that you're big and you don't want to reach your weight goal. I got defensive, saying it was my own money and that I wasn't bringing it in the house.
Is this money saved up from a long time ago? Because she's been out of a job for a while now, it sounds like.
It seems like my parents' means of viewing my sugar addiction and obesity are really butting heads. My dad wants more strict monitoring since, in his words, I don't know what else to do, or I have to do something. My mom's always advocated for healthy eating, especially since her dad, my paternal grandpa, ate himself to death, became obese, and died from type 2 diabetes. However, she's told my dad that he shouldn't try to dictate what I can and cannot eat. Normally, this sort of contention doesn't last long, since I used to just visit my parents. Now that I'm living with them, though, it's really starting to come to a head. What should happen here? Do I need to honor my parents' wishes, or do they have no business dictating what I eat, spend money on my own time? Lisa Simpson fan replied, and I'm in 100% agreement with her. Your parents are 100% right. You've dug yourself into such a bad place physically and mentally that you aren't thinking correctly. You need to stop spending money you don't have on junk food. You are lucky to have family who love you, who care enough about you to want to help you. From Quarter Prestigious. Obese fiancé expects me to remain attracted to him, yet couldn't even extend the same to me during pregnancy? Title says it all. He, 26-year-old male, was never thin when we met, but I didn't really care. I remained sexually attracted to him because of his personality and how he treated me. Fast forward to us both deciding to have a baby 2 years in. I get pregnant, and bam, intimacy dies. No initiation from him ever. Breaks his neck to look at other women when we are out. Gaslights me, makes jokes about my appearance during my pregnancy, etc. I felt really hurt, but I got over it and figured it's just immaturity. Fast forward to after the baby and me losing all the baby weight, getting in superb shape. He has gained about 50 pounds and is 6'1", 280 pounds now. I've made so many efforts to be gentle about the topic of weight loss. Making healthy meals, motivating him to work out by working out and eating healthy myself, even downloaded my FitnessPal app to show him how cool it was that I was tracking my calories and paying attention to exercise. Nothing worked. I have zero attraction to him mentally and physically at the moment. He has other addictions, although not so severe. He drinks daily and does drugs every day as well. Thinking the food is just another addiction I won't be able to solve. How do I fix this, or should I just leave? Really hard since we have a 2-year-old now and he's a good father.
I don't want to say you should leave him, because I don't think you're at that kind of stage, but at some point, you gotta do something. Maybe go see counseling? I don't know. What do other people think?
And, finally, Dechonkers. From Onthroba. It's a small brown dog with a little red kerchief. He's my dog Chonk. Doesn't like playing much anymore since she's gotten old, but she does like to run in the front and backyard at night. Thoughts?
To me, she doesn't look chunky, but I'm no expert.
From Grootsap. It's a white cat with gray stripes. Miss Macy isn't a huge chunk, but her vet wants her to lose a couple pounds. She's down 0.2 pounds since she started her diet a month ago. From North X Sparrow. It's a cat with white belly and chin and paws. The rest of his body's kind of orange with stripes, except his tail's gray with black stripes. Is it really possible for a cat to have this many colors? Fat Nori refuses to shed the pounds. From Oi, this is ridiculous. It's a cat with a white belly and an orange back with stripes. Phoebe's diet is going well. It's got a before and after picture. Before, it does look like Phoebe was pretty chunky. Afterward, looking pretty good, but he could maybe lose a little more weight. From Mike Rich. It's a big orange dog. He started off at very obese, but now he looks perfectly healthy. 2 years and tons of walks later, Shiloh has reached her target weight. From Skeet Station. It's a white cat with a black tail and black eyebrows. 4 pounds down for Simba. Any advice on how to avoid plateaus?
Prevent him from stealing food.
From Rare Turpinez. It's a big orange dog. I don't know the breed. In the first picture, he's laying on the couch taking a nap. In the second picture, he's following some other dog, trying to keep up. Meet Tony, our newest foster from Golden Rescue. Her weight loss journey begins today. Smile. From Srura. It's a pale orange cat with stripes. Jiggy, in process of dechunking. Any suggestions welcome, as I have 2 cats and Milo is not big at all. Sounds like Jiggy's stealing from Milo. From Big Fat Pomelo. It's another cat with a white belly and white paws and white chin. The rest of its body is gray with black stripes. He's laying on a deck or something? He's my boy Chonky. He's still a kitten, 9 months, so I didn't really want to underfeed him.
Are cats still growing at 9 months?
From Sassy Smurfed. Orange cat, licking his belly, sitting on a chair. 3 boys, 1 devours food then pukes it up.
What?
One bullies other 2 from dish and steals food. 1 allows the other 2 to consume everything and then nibbles. How do I get them all to maintain a healthy weight? Ideas?
I feel like this comes up a lot. There are devices that only lets each cat eat from their own bowl. Maybe they should look into that.
And another picture from Sassy Smurfed with the same text. This time it's a big gray cat with white paws. From Irk. It's a cat that's orange and black, kind of swirled together. Torty or something? I can't remember what they're called. Our little chonk has lost 4 pounds. From Roar, rawr, rawr. It's a white cat with black patches. Still chunky, but down 0.5 pound in 3 weeks. Good job, Knuckles. From Sonoran Lauren. It's a black cat with a white spot on its neck and chin. Hey guys, my name's Killian. I lost 5 pounds this year, and I'm officially in remission from diabetes as of yesterday. From Lord of Eggs. It's an orange cat with a white belly. How do I dechonk my boy?
See your vet, who will probably tell you to feed him less.
From Myrrh. It's a gray cat with stripes. In the first picture, he looks pretty chunky. In the second picture, he looks smaller. We just hit our end of the year goal. My little meatball lost 20% of her body weight this year. We have maybe 1 more pound to go. From Lilith Marlene. It's a gray cat with black stripes. He's wearing a green collar. He's got green eyes and he's staring right at the camera. Zeta in December 2019 versus today. Dechonking since March. About 1.5 kilograms difference. She's a small cat, so she feels much lighter, is more energetic, and her belly feels a lot softer, less rigid. Her primordial pooch is mostly loose skin nowadays. Even her face looks leaner. From Crimothy Soup. It's a nearly white cat with orange stripes. He's laying out on a lawn covered with leaves. The vet says my boy is a pound overweight, 14 pounds, and is completely healthy otherwise. I feel like a bad parent for asking, but what's a good food schedule that would help him lose that extra weight?
I would have thought the secret is just to feed them less, until they lose the weight they need to lose.
From Handopus. It's a white cat with orange spots, sitting in a coconut milk box. His tail's hanging over the edge. My goodest girl has lost 2 pounds since February.